You got an interview? Hell yes! Now just tell you, act as confident as possible, even if you're not confident, because that's what I did and it worked. I just put on a fake face and said, I can do this. I know I can do it. I know I'll get a good following. I know I'll be able to make the content, and it worked. So that's how I saw myself at every job interview. I just straight up literally just bullshit them and tell them I can do it. I'm confident. I got this. And then honestly, I'm a nervous wreck and I'm not that confident. I'm just good at faking it till I make it. All right. So the last story we read was, we're actually like 100 pages in. We're pretty good amount in. Yeah, The Hare and the Hedgehog was the last one we watched. That one was like fucked up. God, I remember The Hare of the Hedgehog was the one where he made the rabbit run so much that the rabbit just fell over and died. God, this tea tastes horrible. Yeah, not doing the vanilla again. I'll see if my roommate wants that syrup. Okay, I gotta fix my chair because my chair is too low. That's not it. Where the hell is the... There we go. It might be a bit too high, but we're fine. Yeah, that is a little too high. Now I'm tall. I'm even taller. Okay. So, you're at dinner? Well, at least you're not at work this time. Ooh, that sounds good. Oh, I gotta, maybe, actually, can I bring the website up? Because maybe after story time, I don't know, I gotta figure out, or maybe I'll look at it tonight and figure it out. I gotta figure out what I'm cooking on Thursday. The ad should come out tonight for the grocery store, so I can check and see what's on sale so I know what to make. And I get paid tonight. There's the tea flavor. One of the other downfalls of that vanilla flavor is they got rid of all of the tea flavor. Like all that green tea flavor is gone. It just tastes like vanilla milk. Which does not taste good. Okay, I'll stop yapping and actually get to the singing part, or to the reading part. Sorry, I'm still a little tired. Okay, I will stop yapping. So the next story we're doing is The Dog and the Sparrow. There was once a sheepdog whose master behaved ill to him and did not give him enough to eat, and when for hunger he could bear it no longer, he left his service very sadly. In the street he was met by a sparrow, who said, "Dog, my brother, why are you so sad?" And the dog answered, "I am hungry, I have nothing to eat." Then said the sparrow, "Dear brother, come with me into town, I will give you plenty." Then they went together into town, and soon they came to the butcher's stall. The sparrow said to the dog, "Stay here while I reach you down a piece of meat." He perched on the stall, looked round to see that no one noticed him, and packed and pulled and dragged so long at a piece that lay near the edge of the board that at last it slid to the ground. The dog picked it up and ran with it into a corner and ate it up. Then said the sparrow, "Now come with me to another stall. I will get you another piece, so that your hunger may be satisfied." When the dog had devoured a second piece, the sparrow asked, "Dog, my brother, are you satisfied now?" "Yes, as to meat I am," answered he, "but I have no bread." Then said the sparrow, "Then that also shall you have. Come with me." He led him to a baker's stall and pecked at a few little rolls until they fell to the ground. As the dog still wanted more, they went to another stall farther on and got more bread. When that was done, the sparrow said, "Dog, my brother, are you satisfied yet?" "Yes," answered he, "and now we will walk a little outside of town." And they went together along the high road. It was warm weather. When they had gone a little way, "I am tired, would like to go to sleep." "I'll do so," said the little sparrow. "In the meantime, I will sit near on a bough." or on a bough. I think it's a bough. The dog laid himself in the road and fell fast asleep. As he lay there, a wagoner came up with a wagon and 3 horses, laden with 2 casks of wine. The sparrow, seeing that he was not going to turn aside, but kept in the beaten track, just where the dog lay, cried out, "Wagoner, take care, or you shall suffer for it." But the wagoner, muttering, "What harm can you do for me?" cracked his whip and drove his wagon over the dog, and he was crushed to death by the wheels. The little sparrow cried, "You have killed the dog, my brother, and it shall cost you your horse and cart." "Oh, horses and cart," said the wagoner, "what harm can you do me? I should like to know," and drove on. The little sparrow crept under the cover of the wagon and pecked at the bunghole of one of the casks until the cork came out, and all the wine ran out without the wagoner noticing. After a while, looking around, he saw that something dripped from the wagon. On examining the cask, he found that one of them was empty and cried out, "I am a ruined man." "Not ruined enough yet," said the sparrow, and flying to one of the horses, he perched on its head and pecked at its eyes. When the wagoner saw that he took out his axe to hit the sparrow, who at that moment flew aloft, the wagoner, missing him, struck the horse in the head, so that he fell down dead. "Oh, I am a ruined man," cried he. "Not ruined enough," said the sparrow. As the wagoner drove on with the 2 horses that were left, the sparrow crept again under the wagon covering, pecked the cork out of the second cask, so that all the wine leaked out, and when the wagoner became aware, he cried out, "Oh, I am a ruined man." But the sparrow answered, "Not ruined enough yet," and perched on the second horse's head, and began pecking at its eyes. Back ran the wagoner, raised his axe to strike, with the sparrow flying aloft. The man struck on the horse, so like that, he was killed. "Oh, I am a ruined man," cried the wagoner. "Not ruined enough yet," said the sparrow, perching on the third horse and began pecking its eyes. The wagoner struck out his anger at the sparrow without taking aim, missing him, and laid his third horse dead. "Oh, I am a ruined man," he cried. "Not ruined enough yet," answered the sparrow, flying off. "I will see to that at home." So the wagoner had to leave his wagon standing and went home full of rage. "Oh," said he to his wife, "what ill luck I've had. The wine is spilt, the horses are all 3 dead." "Oh, husband," she answered, "such a terrible bird has come to this house. He has brought with him all the birds of the air, and they are in the midst of our wheat, devouring it." He looked, and there was thousands upon thousands of birds sitting on the ground, having eaten up all the wheat. And the sparrow in the midst of the wagoner cried, "Oh, I am a ruined man." "Not ruined enough yet," answered the sparrow. "Wagoner, it shall cost you your life." He flew away. Now the wagoner, having lost everything he possessed, went indoors and sat down, angry and miserable, behind the stove. The sparrow was perched outside the windowsill and cried, "Wagoner, it shall cost you your life." Then the wagoner seized his axe, threw it at the sparrow, but it broke the window sash in 2, and did not touch the little sparrow, who now hopped inside, perched on the stove, and cried, "Wagoner, it shall cost you your life." He, mad and blind with rage, beat in the stove, and as the sparrow flew from one spot to another, hacked everything in pieces, furniture, looking glass, benches, table, the very walls of his house, and yet he did not touch the sparrow. At last he caught and held him in his hand. "Now," said his wife, "shall I not kill him?" "No," cried he, "that were too easy of a death. I will swallow him." As the bird was fluttering in the man's mouth, it stretched out its head, saying, "Wagoner, it shall cost you your life." Then the wagoner reached for the axe to the wife, saying, "Wife, strike me with this bird dead. The wife struck, but missed her aim, and the blow fell on the wagoner's head. He dropped down dead, but the sparrow flew over the hills and away. God damn. I mean, he killed the dog, so he kind of deserved it because he was warned and chose to say fuck you and killed the dog. But god damn, that sparrow had a freaking grudge against him. He made sure to torture him before killing him. Like, god damn, no sparrow could be that brutal. Okay, yeah, the bottom of this drink tastes better than the rest. only a few sips left. I'm just gonna finish it. Okay, now I'm done. I love that I have a coaster now and I have ice cubes. I got my Shinri coaster in, my acrylic Shinri coaster, and I got my Hakka ice cubes, so now I can make my drinks and stuff. All I wish is I had like a boba cup from one of the Hollister boys, but none of them have come out with boba cups yet. I'm still waiting for one of them to come out with a boba cup. I have a cup from Gerard, but it's so pretty I don't want to use it as a thermos. I have the teacup from Octavio, and I have the glass from Hakka, and I have the mug from Flayon, but I don't use them because they're just so pretty. But if I got like a plastic cup, because that's the thing, is like Gerard's is metal, and I'm scared of scratching up the really pretty black and gold, and Hakka and Octavio and Flayon stuff is ceramic and glass. So I'm like, I hope that someone comes out with a plastic cup, because I know Bettel did, but that was before I became a battalion, or before I even watched Bettel, so I missed it. But I hope someone else comes out with another plastic cup so I can have a plastic cup for my milk tea. And one day I'll figure out how to properly make milk tea so I can have it whenever I want. Okay, more stories, less yapping. Alright, the next story is Mr. Corbis. Corbis or Corbis? You ant. No. Nope. Hold on just a second. These fuckers are on this. No. Okay, we're good. Hi, Romeo. Welcome in, Lunita. I am Keuki Arcticus, IRIAM's Ice Dragon Prince. I'm not usually this quiet, but story time is a quiet time, so it's where I actually am quiet. I'm a very loud person. I was moving my honey because we have an ant problem. No matter how many times we spray, no matter how many times we like spray the border of the house, we keep getting them. They aren't finding food because we're keeping all the food locked up, but they will not go away. And they're always on something, and they found the honey I had on my table, so they could smell it, so they were looking for a spot on the honey, so I had to move it, because I know they're all over my desk. They're just looking for food, and there's nothing there, because I don't eat at my desk, but they're looking for stuff. Okay, I need to stop yapping. I yap too much. That is a common thing. That is just something I do very often. Okay, so next story is more Mr. Corbis. Corbis or Corvus, I'm not sure. A cock and a hen once wanted to go on a journey together, so the cock built a beautiful carriage with 4 red wheels, and he harnessed 4 little mice to it. And the cock and the hen go into it and were driven off. Very soon they met a cat who asked where they were going. The cock answered, "Oh, Mr. Corbis, a call to pay, and that is where we go today." Oh, brownies, that's nice. Oh no, I just realized something. That's new. I was just sitting there, I was like, oh, I want to tap someone so I can text something. And then I realized that they set it up so that you can copy people's stuff. So now when you click someone, if someone sent a message, you can either press copy or profile. Copy will be nice though if someone sends me a link or something. Like if someone sends a link for like a YouTube video or something, that would be really useful. Okay, Romeo. Have a nice night. Okay, let me continue reading. Alright. "Take me with you," said the cat. The cock answered, "Very well, only you must sit well back, and then you will not fall forward. And pray take care with my red wheels there. The wheels be steady, the mice be ready. On Mr. Corby's a call to pay, for that is where we go today. I will say, I cannot read the word cock without thinking of horrible things. I am so childish. My brain does not go to a rooster every time I read that word. I am so bad. You can't blame me. I'm a fanfic writer. I use that word so often. It's just like at this point I keep forgetting it's the word for a rooster. Oh, Skylar, did I tell you that Rio now has seen my fanfics? Which means Rio knows what you know. It's a funny, Orphe knows too now, because I decided since I told Rio I'd tell Orphe too. They were super excited, it's really nice. But now they know I didn't disappear on them. I'm just as a different person now in their chat. Yep. Very few people know about my fanfics and where to find them. I like teasing people and telling people I write fanfics and then not telling them where they are. Welcome in, Celtic. I'm Keuki Arcticus, IRIAM's Ice Dragon Prince. We are reading Grimm's Fairy Tales, except for I keep getting distracted and very yappy because I like talking a lot. And I'm kind of whispery right now. This isn't how I usually am. I'm usually a very loud person. But story time's a whisper time. Thank you for the star, Celtic. So let me go ahead and continue reading and stop getting distracted and yapping. Okay. So then there came up a millstone, then an egg, then a duck, then a pin, and lastly a needle, who all got up on the carriage and were driven along. And when they came to Mr. Corby's house, he was not at home. The mice drew the carriage into the barn. The cock and the hen flew up and perched on the beam. The cat sat by the fireside. The duck settled in the water. But the egg wrapped itself in a towel, the pin stuck itself in the chair cushion, and the needle jumped into the bed among the pillows, and the millstone laid itself by the door. Why are we having inanimate objects be moving? Is this another one of those? Wasn't there another story that was an inanimate object story that made zero sense? It's always funny with the inanimate objects. Then Mr. Corby's came home, went to the hearth to make a fire, but the cat threw ashes in his eyes. Then he came quickly into the kitchen to wash himself, but the duck splashed water in his face. Then he was going to wipe it with the towel, but the egg broke in it and stuck his eyelids together. In order to get a little bit of peace, he sat down in his chair, but the pin ran into him, and starting up, in his vexation, he threw himself on the bed, and as his head fell on the pillow, in went the needle, so that he called out in pain, and madly rushed out. But when he reached the house door, the millstone jumped up and struck him dead. What a bad man Mr. Corbus must have been. The one with the beans? Yes, the bean one. That was the one with the beans. That one was a weird one. Yeah, because it was a bean and he like exploded or something, didn't he? Or he like split open. Yeah, the beans. It's always funny, like I get it if it's like a cat or a dog or something, but you got inanimate objects moving along with the cats and dogs. It's just funny. I see ants everywhere. I hate it. I don't know what they're even looking for. I don't have any food in here. Okay. The words that make me giggle every time I read them. Alright, the next story is The Vagabonds. The cock said to the hen, It is nutting time. Okay, it's nutting time. Hold on, I just need to tweet that real quick. We're just gonna was zero context. That is such... It says, "It is nutting time. Let us go together to the mountains and have a good feast before the squirrels come and carry it away." So I'm assuming it's the squirrels going and collecting nuts. But that is such a funny phrase. We're just gonna tweet, "It is nutting time," with no context. People could be like, what the fuck? Oh my god, I'm gonna choke. That's so funny. That is hilarious. Alright, let me try reading this without cry laughing again. Alright. The cock said to the hen, "It is nutting time." I'm sorry. That phrasing is hilarious. "Let us go together to the mountains and have a good feast for once before the squirrels come and carry all away." "Yes," answered the hen, "come along. We will have a jolly time together." Then they set off together to the mountains. As it was a fine day, they stayed till the evening. Now, whether it was that they had eaten so much, or because of pride or haughtiness, I do not know, but they would not go home on foot, so the cock set to work to make a little carriage out of nutshells. When it was ready, the hen seated herself in it and said to the cock, "Now you can harness yourself to it." "That's all very fine," said the cock. "I would sooner go home on foot than do such a thing. And I never agreed to it. I don't mind being coachman, sitting on the box, but as to drawing it myself, it's quite out of the question." As they were wrangling, a duck came quacking. "You thieving vagabonds, who told you you might go into my mountain? Look out, or it will be the worst for you." She flew at the cock with a bill wide open, but the cock was not backward. He gave the duck a good dig in the body and hacked at her with his spurs so violently that she begged for mercy, when willing allowed herself to be harnessed to the carriage. Then the cock seated himself on the box and was the coachman. So off they went at a great pace, the cock crying out, "Run, duck, as fast as you can." When they had gone a part of the way, they met 2-foot passengers. "Needle," they cried, "stop, stop," said that the art for this one is really pretty, and said that it would soon be the blind man's holiday, that they could not go a step farther, that the ways were very muddy. Might they just get in for a little bit? They had the door of the tailor's house of call, and had been delayed because of fear. The cock, seeing they were slender folks that would not I'm sorry, I don't know when that happened. I wasn't paying attention. Oh no. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, let me plug my phone in. I'm so sorry. When did I stop talking? No, when did I stop talking? What was the last thing you heard? Which one? There's so many cocks. There's so many cocks. You're gonna tell me after the cock which one? And that can be clipped very far out of context. Oh my god. The cock's in silence. Well, which cock? There's cock in this multiple times. There's so many. Imagine if someone else was here to clip this out of context, but I'm the only one recording this. Maybe I'll go in there when I have time and clip it out of context. Just for the fun of it. Yeah, there's too many cocks. Let me see. Did you hear me mention the inn? Did you hear the needle and the pin? Because they picked up the needle and the pin and then they went to the inn. Oh God, how long was it? You heard the duck though, the thing about the duck now pulling the carriage? Cock, such. How long in was I? Alright, we're just gonna start over here. It's just like cock, then silence. Oh no. I'm sorry, I have Twitter open. And fucking Nikki just responded, have fun. To my nutting time. Sorry, I had to respond. I'm sorry, this is too funny. That's so hilarious. Alright, we're gonna start the story over. I'm gonna stop getting distracted by freaking Twitter. I've got it open on here because I was looking at that stuff. Hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna bring something else up just so I have it up on here. Okay, let me go ahead and read the story again. The cock said to the hen, "It's nuttin' time." It's much funnier when I do it's instead of it is. Cock take two. Cock take two. Why do they have to use that word to describe a rooster? Just call it a goddamn rooster. I'm so childish. Alright. I gotta calm down. You're not helping, Alice. Alright. The cock said to the hen, "It is nutting time. Let us go together to the mountain and have a good feast for once before the squirrels came home. Come and carry all away." "Yes," answered the hen. "Come along. We will have a jolly time together." Then they set off together to the mountains, and as it was a fine day, they stayed there till the evening. Now whether it was that they had eaten so much, or because their pride and haughtiness, I do not know, but they would not go home on foot. So the cock set to work to make a little carriage of nutshells. When it was ready, the hen seated herself in it and said to the cock, "Now you can harness yourself to it." "That's all very fine," said the cock. "I would sooner go home on foot than do such a thing, and I never agreed to it." Really, Salem? Really? Hold on a second. Bonk. Don't knock things over, sir. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Don't knock things over, cutie pie. Okay, we're good. Salem knocked the honey over. And I never agreed to it. I don't mind being coachman, sitting on the box, but as to drawing it myself, it's quite out of the question. Well, it's turned upside down and is about half of the bear's head. Not very much. Probably for, I don't know, 3 more milk teas, maybe 4. Depends on how sweet I make it. I'm gonna buy a new one. I'm gonna buy a replacement for my roommate. Yeah, buy a replacement for my roommate. I mean, it was a full bottle a week ago. I'm gonna buy a replacement for my roommate, and I'll probably buy one for myself, or see if there's something else I can get at the store. Cause it's gonna be at work. I work in a grocery store, so it's the best place to get it because I can get it cheaper. And hopefully it's on sale. Okay. As they were wrangling, a duck came quacking. "You thieving vagabonds, who might go to my mountain. Look out, or it will be worse for you." And she flew at the cock with bill wide open, but the cock was not backward, and he gave the duck a good dig in the body and hacked at her with his spurs so valiantly that she begged for mercy and willingly allowed herself to be harnessed to the carriage. Then the cock seated himself on the box and was coachman. So off they went at a great pace, the cock crying out, "Run, duck, as fast as you can." When they had gone a part of the way, they met 2 foot passengers, a pin and a needle. They cried, "Stop, stop," and said that it would soon be the blind man's holiday, that they could not go a step farther, that the ways were very muddy. Might they just get in for a little? They had been standing at the door of the tailor's house of call and had been delayed because of beer. The cock, seeing as they were slender folks that would not take up a great deal of room, let them both step in. Only they must promise not to tread on his toes nor the hens. Late in the evening, they came to an inn. There they found that they could not go any further that night, as the duck's paces were not good. She waddled so much from side to side. So they turned in. The landlord at first made some difficulty. His house was already full, and he thought they had not very distinguished appearance. At last, however, when they had made many fine speeches, and had promised him the egg the hen laid on the way, and that he should keep the duck, who laid one every day, he agreed to let them stay the night. So they had a very gay time. So they basically gave the duck away. The duck who, one, was wild in her own territory. They entered her territory, and she tried to fight back because they were in her territory. And then proceeded to give her away to the innman so that they could stay the night. So they just gave her away. I don't know how they're getting out. Early in the morning, when it was beginning to grow light and everybody was still asleep, the cock waked the hen and fetched the egg and made a hole in it. They ate it up between them and put the eggshell on the hearth. Then they went to the needle, who was still sleeping, picked him up by his head, and stuck him in the landlord's chair cushion, having also placed the pin and his towel. Off they flew over the hills, far away. The duck, who had chosen to sleep in the open air, had remained in the yard, and heard the rustle of their wings. Waking up, looked about till she found a brook, down which she swam a good deal faster than she had drawn the carriage. A few hours later, the landlord woke, and leaving his feather bed, began to wash himself. But when he took the towel to dry himself, he drew the pin across his face and made a red streak from ear to ear. Ooh, that's painful. That is painful. Then he went to the kitchen to light his pipe, but when he stood toward the hearth to take the coal, the eggshell flew at his eyes. "Everything goes wrong this morning," said he, and let himself drop full of vexation into his grandfather's chair. But up he jumped in a moment, crying, "Oh dear," for the needle had gone into him. Now he became angry and had his suspicions of the guests who had arrived so late in the evening before. When he looked round for them, they were nowhere to be seen. And then he swore he would never more harbor such vagabonds that consumed so much, paid nothing, and played such nasty tricks into the bargain. Okay, the next one is called The Death of the Hen. Once on a time, the cock and the hen went to the nut mountain, and they agreed beforehand that whichever of them should find a nut was to divide it with the other. Now the hen found a great big nut, but said nothing about it, and was going to eat it all alone. But the kernel was such a fat one that she could not swallow it down, and it was stuck in her throat, so that she was afraid she might choke. "Cock," she cried out, "run as fast as you can, fetch me some water, or I shall choke." So the cock ran as fast as he could to the brook and said, "Brook, give me some water. The hen is up yonder choking with a big nut stuck in her throat." But the brook answered, "First, run to the bride, ask her for some red silk." "I'm sorry. The hen is choking," he said. "Oh, she's choking. Please hurry. Sorry. Go do this quest for me first, and then I'll give you water so she doesn't choke to death." She's choking. You don't have very much time when someone starts choking before they die, or at least before they pass out and run out of oxygen. So the cock ran down to the bride and said, "Bride, give me some red silk. The brook wants me to give him red silk. I want him to give me some water, for the hen lies yonder choking with a big nut stuck in her throat." But the bride answered, "First, go fetch me my garland that hangs on the window." And the cock ran to the willow, pulled the garland from the bough, and brought it to the bride. The bride gave him the red silk. He brought it to the brook. The brook gave him water. So then the cock brought the water to the hen. But alas, it was too late. The hen had choked in the meanwhile and lay there dead. Yeah, I would think so after they did that. Why the fuck did they do that? That is not... You're supposed to go save someone immediately, not sit there and send someone who's trying to save one from choking on a quest. And the cock was so grieved that he cried aloud. And all the beasts came and lamented for the hen. 6 mice built a little wagon on which to carry the poor hen to her grave. When it was ready, they harnessed themselves to it, and the cock drove. On the way, they met a fox. "Holloa, cock," cried he. "Where are you off to?" "Bury my hen," answered the cock. "Can I come too?" said the fox. "Yes, if you follow behind," said the cock. So the fox followed behind. He was soon joined by the wolf, the bear, the stag, the lion, and all the beasts in the woods. The procession went on till they came to a brook. "How shall we get over?" said the cock. Now in the brook there was a straw, and he said, "I will lay myself across so that you may pass over on me." But when the 6 mice had got upon the bridge, the straw slipped and fell into the water, and they all tumbled in and were drowned. So they were as badly off as ever. When the coal came up, said he could lay himself across the water, and they might pass over him. But no sooner had he touched the water than he hissed and went out, and was dead. A stone, seeing this, was touched with pity, and wishing to help the cock, he laid himself across the stream. The cock drew his wagon with the dead hen in it safely to the other side, then began to draw the others, who followed behind, across too. But it was too much for him. The wagon turned over and tumbled into the water one on top of another, and were drowned. So the cock was left all alone with the dead hen. He dug a grave, laid her in it, and raised a mound above her, sat himself down, lamented so sore that at last he died. So they were all dead together. Wow, so literally everyone died. That's scary. That's a bit ill. What's going on here? Sorry, I'm distracted. Oh, someone's playing video games. Okay. I just saw a notification. I was like, what's going on? Nikki, I told Nikki that I was like sitting there and I responded to Nikki and I was like, I love that you didn't ask for any context behind this and it's so much funnier. And they're just like, keep me posted. I might post a picture of the part of the story. Let me actually go back so I can take this picture later because it's funny. This one, vagabonds. Okay. The next story is the owl. 200 or 300 years ago, when people were far from being so crafty and cunning as they were nowadays, an extraordinary event took place in a little town. By some mischance, one of the great owls, called horned owls, had come from the neighboring woods into the barn of one of the townsfolk in the nighttime when day broke. Sorry. And when day broke, did not dare to venture forth again from her retreat for fear of the other birds, which raised a terrible outcry whenever she appeared. In the morning, when the manservant went into the barn to fetch some straw, he was so mightily alarmed at the sight of the owl sitting there in the corner that he ran away and announced to his master that a monster, that like which he had never set his eyes on, and which could devour a man without the slightest difficulty, was sitting in the barn, rolling its eyes about in its head. I know you already, said the master. You have courage enough to chase a blackbird about the fields, but when you see a dead hen lying, you have to get a stick before you go near it. I must go and see for myself what kind of monster it is, added the master, and went quite boldly into the granary and looked around. When, however, he saw the strange grim creature with his own eyes, he was no less terrified than the servant had been. With two bounds, he sprang out and ran to his neighbors, begged them to imploringly to lend him assistance against an unknown dangerous beast, or else the whole town might be in danger if it were to break loose out of his barn, where it was shut in. A great noise and clamor arose in the streets. The townsmen came armed with spears, hay-forks, scythes, axes, as if they were going against an enemy. Finally, the senators appeared with a burgomaster at their head. When they had drawn in the marketplace, they marched to the barn, surrounded it by all sides. Thereupon, one of the courageous of them stepped forth, entered with his spear lowered, but came running out immediately afterwards with a shriek, as pale as death, could not utter a single word. Yet two others ventured in, and they fared no better. Why is everybody so scared of an owl? At last, one stepped forward, a great strong man who was famous for his warlike deeds, and said, You will not drive me away, the monster, by merely looking at him. We must be earnest here, but I see that you have all turned into women. Not one of you dares to encounter the animal. Sorry. He ordered them to give him some armor, had a sword and a spear brought, and armed himself. All praised his courage, though many feared for his life. The two barn doors were open. They saw the owl, which in the meantime had perched itself on the middle of the crossbeam. He had a ladder brought, and when he raised it, made ready to climb, they all cried out to him that he was to bear himself bravely, and commended him to St. George, who slew the dragon. When he had just got to the top, the owl perceived that he had designs on her, and was also bewildered by the crowd and the shouting, and knew not how to escape. She rolled her eyes, ruffled her feathers, and flapped her wings, and snapped her beak, and cried, To wit, to who? In a harsh voice, strike home, screamed the crowd outside to the valiant hero. Anyone who was standing where I am standing, answered he, would not cry, strike home. He certainly did plant his foot one rung higher on the ladder, but then he began to tremble, half fainting, and went back down. Now there was no one left who dared to put himself in such danger. The monster said they had poisoned and mortally wounded the strongest man among them by snapping at him, just breathing on him. Are we to risk our lives? They took counsel as to what they ought to do to prevent the whole town being destroyed. For a long time, everything seemed to be of no use, but at length the burgomaster found an expedient. My opinion, said he, is that we ought, out of the common purse, to pay for this barn, whatsoever corn, straw, hay it contains, thus indemnify the owner, and then burn down the whole building, with the terrible beast inside. Thus no one will have to endanger his life. This is no time for thinking of the expense and Negarliness? I don't know what that word is. Negardlia? I don't know. What does that word mean? I don't know what that means. Hold on, I want to know what this word means. Negardly. Oh, stingy. That's an interesting one. Niggardly means stingy. Okay. This is no time for thinking of expense, and niggardliness would be ill-implied. All agreed with him, so they set fire to the barn at all four corners with it, and the owl was miserably burnt. Let anyone who will believe it go thither and inquire for himself. So this very much shows an aspect of how a lot of monsters and stuff from stories and fantasy, or like stories from the past, like dragons and sea monsters, are created from people seeing and witnessing actual animals and not knowing what they are and seeing them as monsters. And that is very much what this is, because these people obviously had never seen an owl before, did not know what it was, and were terrified because they don't know what this animal is. They think it's a monster because it can screech and it's terrifying looking to them and all this stuff, and everybody's too scared to get near it despite that it's just a bird. They don't know what it is. They've never seen it before. So then they had this fear of it, and so they killed it because they were scared of it, which is really sad because owls are beautiful animals. Just stretch. The next story is The Wonderful Musician. A wonderful musician was walking through a forest, thinking of nothing in particular. When he had nothing more left to think about, he said to himself, I shall grow tired of being in this wood, or so I will bring out a good companion. He took the fiddle that hung at his back and fiddled so that the word echoed. Before long, a wolf came through the thicket and trotted up to him. Oh, here comes a wolf. I had no particular wish for such company, said the musician, but the wolf drew near and said to him, Ho, you musician, how finely you play. I must learn how to play too. That is easily done, answered the musician. You have only to do exactly as I tell you. Oh, musician, said the wolf, I will obey you, as a scholar does his master. The musician told him to come with him. As they went a part of the way together, they came to an old oak tree, which was hollow within and cleft through the middle. Look here, said the musician. If you want to learn how to fiddle, you must put your 4 feet to this cleft. The wolf obeyed, but the musician took up a stone and quickly wedged both his paws with one stroke, so fast that the wolf was a prisoner, and they were obliged to stop. Stay there until I come back, said the musician, and went his way. After a while, he said again to himself, I shall grow weary here in the woods. I will bring out another companion. He took his fiddle and fiddled away in the woods. Before long, a fox came slinking through the trees. Oh, here comes a fox, said the musician. I had no particular wish for such company, The fox came up to him and said, "Oh, my dear musician, how finely you play. I must learn how to play too." "That is easily done," said the musician. "You will have only to do exactly as I tell you." "Oh, musician," answered the fox, "I will obey you as a scholar his master." "Follow me," said the musician. And as they went apart the way together, they came to a footpath with a high edge on each side. Then the musician stopped, taking hold of a hazel branch, bent down to the earth, and put his foot on the end of it. Then he bent down a branch on the other side and said, come on, little fox. If you wish to learn something, reach me your left forefoot." The fox obeyed, and the musician bound the foot to the left hand of the branch. "Now, little fox," he said, "reach me the right one." Then he bound it to the right hand branch. Then he had seen that the knots were fast enough. He let go. The branches flew back and caught up on the fox, shaking and struggling in the air. "Wait there until I come back," said the musician, and went his way. God, what is up with the musician and treating these animals like this? What the fuck? He's like tying them down and torturing them. What the hell? "By and by," he said to himself, "I shall grow weary in this wood. I will bring out another companion." So he took his fiddle. The sound echoed through the wood. Then a hare sprang out before him. "Oh, here comes a hare," said he. "That's not what I want." "Oh, dear musician," said the hare, "how finely you play. I should like to learn how to play." "That is soon done," said the musician, "only you must do whatever I tell you." "Oh, musician," answered the hare, "I will obey you as a scholar his master." So they went a part of the way until they came to a clear place in the woods where there stood an aspen tree. The musician tied a long string round the neck of the hare, knotted the other end of it to a tree. Now then, courage, little hare, run 20 times around the tree," cried the musician. The hare obeyed. As he ran the 20th time, the string had wound 20 times around the tree trunk, and the hare was imprisoned. And pull and tug as he would, he only cut his tender neck with the string. "Wait there until I come back," said the musician, and walked on. The wolf, meanwhile, had struggled and pulled and bitten at the stone, worked away so long that at last he made his paws free, and got himself out of the cleft, and full of fury, hastened after the musician to tear him to pieces. When the fox saw him run by, he began groaning and cried out with all his might, "Brother Wolf, come get me. The musician has betrayed me." The wolf then pulled the branches down, bit the knots in two, and set the fox free. He went with them to take vengeance on the musician. They found the imprisoned hare, set him likewise free, and then they all went together to seek their enemy. The musician had once again played his fiddle. This time he had been more fortunate. The sound had reached the ears of the poor woodcutter, who immediately, in spite of himself, let his work, and with his axe under his arm, came to listen to the music. Welcome in, Babs! We're reading a story right now called The Mouse, the Bird, and the Sausage. I did not realize that the last part of that was called The Sausage. Or no, that's the next story. This one's called The Wonderful Musician. The next one is that one. Sorry. Did you see my tweet, Babs? So, there is a story in here that starts off with, it was so funny. It's called The Vagabonds. It starts off with, the cock said to the hen, "It is nutting time," is how it starts. So I just tweet out, without context, "It is nutting time." Fucking, hold on, Salem wants me to open the window. Hi, you want the window open? It's nice out, I'll let you have that. But yeah, so I tweeted, "It's nutting time," and freaking Nikki responded with, I think it was like, "have fun," and I'm like, I was like, the fact that you didn't ask me for any context behind this makes it so much funny. Because Nikki was just like, "have fun," absolutely zero context asked about it. It's so funny. response, Babs. Literally, it's like what they're talking about is they're actually talking about because it's like nut season, so they're going to the mountains to get the nuts before the squirrels get them. But it's like, why did they call it nutting time? And then what's worse is they keep referring to the rooster as the cock, so much of the story says cock. Like the last 3 stories have said cock so much, and my childish ass brain cannot stop internally giggling about the word. I'm so fucking childish. I can't stop giggling about the word because they keep saying it. Okay, let me continue reading this so we can start the next story. The musician had once more played his fiddle. This time he had been more fortunate. The sound had reached the ears of the poor woodcutter, who immediately, and in spite of himself, left his work, and with his axe under his arm, came to listen to music. At last, here comes the right sort of companion, said the musician. It was a man I wanted, and not wild animals. Then he began to play sweetly, that the poor man stood as if enchanted, and his heart filled with joy. As he was standing there, came the wolf, the fox, and the hare. He could easily see that they meant mischief. Then he raised his shining axe, stood in front of the musician, as if to say, whoever means harm to him had better take care of himself, for he will have to deal with me. The animals were frightened and went back into the woods, and the musician, when he had played once more, the man showed his gratitude and went on his way. There is literally a section. My stream stopped because I got a low battery notification, so my stream paused, and freaking Alice couldn't remember where I had left off, like where they'd last heard me, so they just said, oh, you just said the cocks, and I'm just like, there are so many cocks in this, what do you mean when? And I'm just like, that is so clippable. I'm gonna go look for that in the recording and fucking clip that shit. Because that was funny. I'm gonna go look for it in the recording and see if it's actually clippable. Because it would be so good out of context. I hope I get to a point where people start clipping me, because I love seeing out of context clips. They're so funny. It's the best when there's hilarious clips completely out of context. Okay. Let me see. So, once on a time, a mouse. This one's called The Mouse, the Bird, and the Sausage. Once on a time, a mouse, a bird, and a sausage lived and kept house together, in perfect peace among themselves. What is up with animals living with inanimate objects? Also, why are these animals living with a dead animal? Because a sausage is technically a meat from a dead animal. Why the fuck are they living with a dead animal? Is it a raw sausage or a cooked sausage? Sometimes these stories are so weird. I got the stream recorded this time. I was able to successfully upload another one of my streams. For some reason, the quiz stream is taking absolutely forever to upload. It's been like 3 days. But I got one of my streams to upload, and it gave me like an extra like 30 gigs, because honestly these streams are taking up a lot of space. It was like 15 gigabyte stream, and I'm just like, why are they taking up so much space? So I was only able to record like 3 or 4 before I ran out of space, because the iPad doesn't have that much room, because my art's on that iPad, which takes up a lot of space. But I do have this one recording. As long as the recording doesn't get fucked up, I will be able to clip that. Let's hope it doesn't, because that was really funny. Okay, let me get to reading, because we only have probably about, I'm only going to go to the 2-hour mark, because I don't think I really want to read for more than 2 hours. So we're only going to go for 2 hours, which means I've got probably about 45 minutes, a little over that, because I do want to, I got some art I got to get done. And I want to, I got started on the roleplay thing, but I got to finish the art for it before I can reveal the characters. Alright, hold on. Chapstick's broken. Go down. Here we go. I was telling Alice about it. I'm listening to Bettle, because he's doing a 24-hour stream, and he's just doing math right now. They just put math equations on the screen. They're like, here, solve this algebra. And I'm like, I can't solve algebra. I would be failing at that. I'd be like, nope. Yeah, I just have him playing because I'm planning on staying up until his stream ends, which it's 5 to 5. So I'm gonna be up till 5 p.m. tomorrow. From now till 5 p.m. tomorrow. Hopefully it'll reset my sleep schedule to an extent. I think I should be able to handle it. Yeah. I'm not good at algebra. The only reason I passed algebra 2 was because I had to take it 3 times, and the third time I'd taken it so much that I knew everything, and so I just passed it. Because I took it in my sophomore year, I think? Freshman or sophomore, I don't remember. And then I went to summer school for it. I fucked around in summer school. Like, I did not do my work. I was on my computer playing games instead of doing my work. And then, so I didn't pass that. So then I took it again at my new school, and I passed it so easily. Like, so good that the teacher's like, oh my god, you're so good at algebra. Do you want to go and calculus AP next year? I'm like, fuck no. You know what they did? Put me in AP Calculus, and I almost failed that class. I literally barely passed. I think the only reason I passed that class with a C was because I went up to the teacher at the end of the year and I was like, what can I do to get a C? And she said, turn in all this work you're missing and I'll leave it and give you a C. And I'm like, okay. So I just did that. I just turned in anything I had that I hadn't turned in. I did, because I just needed that C to pass, because I was never supposed to be in an AP class. I'm not good at math. That's not my subject. My subject was always, funnily enough, science. I really loved science. I especially loved at my second high school, because I went to 2 different high schools. At my second high school, we had a science program called aquaponics, and I absolutely loved aquaponics. I actually was I will say, I was the teacher's pet. I was the star student. I was very big with her, active in every single project, one of her favorite students. Put a lot of effort into everything. Even learned how to make the like setups and everything myself. Like, I learned how to build with power tools and everything. My mom and me actually helped set up an FFA at that school. It's the only school in our area that has an FFA, because we worked together with the teacher to set it up and everything. Unfortunately, it started after I graduated. And sadly, I lost contact with the teacher because I originally wanted to go back someday and help out with aquaponics, but I think they've kind of gone away from aquaponics because they've been really focused on the FFA stuff. So I think they've gone a bit away from aquaponics, but I loved aquaponics. I think I still have my little project I did where it explained how to set up an aquaponics system and how it works. I gotta find it someday so I can make one myself because I loved it. I used to have a system that grew like smaller vegetables, but unfortunately, we had someone come to spray for bugs and we didn't account for the air filter, and they accidentally sprayed the air filter and killed all the fish. And so, unfortunately, once that happened, I didn't have any attachment to the fish. They were just tilapia that the school raised. And my teacher said, oh, we have too many of these here, take some home for your system. But it sucked because it was like, well, shit, I have to go buy new fish. I can't afford new fish. So we just left the system there, and eventually we took it down because we needed something else there. We didn't have room for it, so we took it down. But I would like to build a small system again because it's really good for growing smaller plants like herbs. You can grow veggies like lettuce. They don't grow very big. It takes a long time for them to grow. But they work really well for herbs like chives or other herbs. They work really well. And I really like how the system works. It's really cool. So you have to make sure you don't mix females and males, because then you have an issue with babies getting through the system because they will travel through the system because they're so small. That's an issue we had at school because we separated them by gender, but it wasn't perfectly separated. Yeah. If I can find it, maybe I'll do a stream where I talk about that. That might be interesting. If I can find, you know what? I'm gonna be distracted right now, and I'm gonna go look and see if I have it. Let me see. It's gonna be in Google Docs if I have it, I believe. It's gonna be really, really old. to be towards the very far bottom. No. It's not. Oh, there it is. I do have it. The aquaponics manual. Let me see. This was a project I had to do where I had to make a manual on how to make an aquaponics program. Okay, yeah, I don't care. Let me see. Can I scroll down, please? Thank you. So I don't know how much this has in information. It has a picture, which is really cool. It's a picture of my original system, which was my first ever system I made. Because I made two separate systems from scratch. This is the first one I ever made. It was a 38-gallon system with 31 plants. Oh, this is actually a really good project I did. I wrote it very, oh my god, I copyrighted it. That's funny. It's in 2015. Startup system. Yeah, I have how it starts up. I wrote this really well. What the hell? This is actually really well written. Like, you could actually follow this and, build your own system. It has the types of things you use to build it, all the different parts you need, the assembly. It has how to assemble it with steps, how to transfer the plants, operation of system day to day, nutrient deficiencies, how to feed the fish. It has deficiencies that you can identify and look for. And pruning of the plants, discussion. Oh my god, I actually put a lot of effort into this project. I really was passionate about this. It would have been cool to go into a job about it. I actually had a full copyright with my name, and I had a name for the aquaponics and stuff. I made a logo. I went all out on this project, huh? I think it was because originally I wanted to make it a bit of a business too. Yeah, this was my final project, I think, for that year. That was my first year of aquaponics. I absolutely loved aquaponics so much. It was amazing. It was so cool seeing what you could do. How you could use the ecosystem of plants and fish to grow delicious plants. I mean, we grew enough plants. We had a very large system we all built together as a class on my second year. And because my second year was my senior year. That was the year where I was really, really active. And we had something we built as a full class. And we ended up we grew enough plants to I think we grew cilantro and lettuce and tomatoes, I think. And we grew enough to cut up into for veggies, and then we had so many fish that we ended up actually having my teacher had someone come to butcher some of the fish and showed us how to do it. And then we had fish tacos. We fried up fish tacos right there in the area that was for the aquaponics. We fried up fish tacos, and they were actually pretty good. We didn't get much meat off of them because they were quite small tilapia, because they weren't farm raised. They were raised on a specific amount, so they weren't super big fish, but they were good fish tacos. But yeah, that's one of the coolest things with an aquaponics system. Is not only is it self-sufficient, because the fish provide nutrients for the plants, and the plants filter out the nitrogen, which is toxic to the fish, from the water, but it cycles itself as an ecosystem. Yeah, the cock's wife died. That was a separate story. The cock's just been here multiple times. Yeah, the ecosystem's really cool. The aquaponic systems are really awesome. They're really beautiful for science. Yeah, there's been multiple stories about the cock. There's been multiple cocks. But yeah, no, the aquaponic system was really fun to do. I remember this specific system I'm looking at the picture of, it had one fish feeding it. So this was a much, much smaller system. I think it only had one or two fish. And funny story, that fish that was feeding it, I took that fish home. At the end of the year, they didn't have a place for the fish. They didn't know what to do with it because we were going on summer vacation. So I said, oh, can I take the fish home? I'll raise it there. It was a baby koi, I believe. No. So funny story about that. I didn't have the proper equipment for a fish. I didn't kill it. I promise you, I didn't kill it. So we put it in a jar that was big enough for the fish to swim around a bit until I could go buy a tank, which was going to be like next day. And my mom thought, oh, the top needs to be off the jar so he can breathe. And I'm like, that's not how it works. And the cat grabbed him out of there and ate him. Specifically, she pulled him out of the water and set him down in front of my mom's door and was like, look, Mommy, look what I got. And I'm like, my fish. It's a big fish too. I think it was a baby koi because it was bigger than it was either a giant goldfish or a baby koi, and I think it was a baby koi because it was a very, very big goldfish otherwise, or it might have been a larger breed of goldfish. But yeah, so the cat killed it. I told my mom, I'm like, that is not how fish breathe. Fish can breathe for a period of time without bubbles in the water, but the way they get oxygen is through the water, not through open air. So yeah, the fish died. I have a fish tank I bought like 2-3 years ago because I wanted fish, and then I just never used it because I just didn't have the money for fish, and now I don't have the space for fish. So I'm like, I have this tank, I don't want to throw it out because I want to get a fish eventually. So I'm just like, well, I already have a fish tank that's in perfect condition. Why would I throw it out or sell it when I could just keep it? Because they're never going to do a sale like that again. They had a sale that was $1 a gallon. So I grabbed a $10. I should have grabbed a $20 one. But at the time I was pretty broke. So I grabbed the $10 tank. And so I was like, cool, $10 for a tank? These tanks are usually like $30 a piece for a 10-gallon tank. I'm like, cool. And then I never got a fish. I really want one. I wanted originally to get just a goldfish, and then, or actually, I wanted a rainbow shark is what I wanted because they didn't actually look like sharks. Bala shark. It's hard to find fish that actually look like sharks because you can't have a real shark. That's not allowed here. So I wanted a rainbow shark because they have fins and they look really cool like a shark. But found out that they didn't fit in the type of tank I had. It's too small. Then I wanted a I don't know what they're called. They're really, really cute goldfish that are very fat. Found out they need bigger tanks too. And then I ended up saying, okay, well, I'll get a betta fish. But I don't have the space right now. I don't have a place to put it. Maybe after I figure some stuff out in here, I'll have room for it, or if I get a different place. But for now, I just don't have room for the fish tank, so no fishy. Plus, honestly, I have to get a special top for the fish tank because Salem would eat them in a heartbeat. That's also why I can't have a rabbit or a hamster or a mouse or any rat or anything because Salem will kill him. So that's just because he's indoor-outdoor because we have rodent problems outside. So he takes care of the rodent problems, which is very, very good. We have big rodent problems, like really bad. Like they break into things when we would kill our chickens for the food. The chickens because the chickens were in the way. Yeah, and so we ended up we keep cats around because they're good at keeping the pests down, especially when we have stuff they're getting into. Like right now we have a squirrel stealing my mom's tomatoes, and so Salem's been out there catching the squirrels so they don't eat them. But unfortunately that does mean, because Salem does have that animal instinct, he is eating them, which means that like we have to be careful with him. I don't trust him around a rabbit. I don't trust him around a bird. I don't trust him around any kind of rodent or fish. Fish maybe because he's never been around a fish before, but I still don't trust him with it because he might sit there and be like, ooh, that looks like fun. So I think it's better just to not have a small animal around him unless I have a room that I can keep it safe in. It would have to have a room that only it can be in, or have a way for me to shut it so he can't get to it. Because I would love to have a fish, I would love to have a snake, I would love to have a bunny, I would love to have a lot of different animals. Just a lot I can't have any reptiles because my roommates are terrified of reptiles, and they're like, yeah, nah, we signed the lease, you ain't getting in here, you ain't bringing any reptiles. They're like, our name's on this place, you ain't getting any reptiles. I'm fine with it. I have my kitty. As long as I still have one cat, I'll be fine. As long as Salem doesn't disappear anywhere, I'll be happy. I need to stop yapping. I keep yapping. It's like, I can't stop talking. It's like, I need to read the stories. This is why this book's gonna take us forever to read. It's gonna take us forever to finish this book because I can't stop talking. I'm too much of a yapper. Yeah, I know my yaps are fun. My yaps are a lot more fun when I'm talking about specific things. Like it's more fun when it's like that's the topic of the stream. But when I'm just yapping about something completely random, not related to the stream, it's like, God damn it, stay on topic. Alright, let's at least finish like 2 more stories probably. Yeah, this mouse one is really long, and we should be able to finish 3 stories, I think? 3 more? Ooh, that cat picture is really pretty. We should be able to finish at least 3 more stories. Hold on just a second. I'm just looking at something real quick. Okay. Okay, so let's start this story over just to be safe. So, once on a time, a mouse and a bird and a sausage lived and kept house together in perfect peace among themselves. And in great prosperity, it was the bird's business to fly to the forest every day and bring back wood. The mouse had drawn the water, make the fire, and set the table, and the sausage had to do the cooking. Nobody is content in this world. Much will have more. One day, the bird met another bird on the way and told him of his excellent condition in life. But then other bird called him a poor simpleton to do so much work, while the others led easy lives at home. When the mouse made up her fire, drawn water, she went to rest in her little room until it was time to lay the cloth. The sausage stayed by the saucepans, took to it that all the victuals, all well cooked, and just before dinner time, he stirred the pot broth and the stew 3 or 4 times well around, so as to enrich, season, and flavor. Then the bird used to come home and lay down his load, and they sat down at the table. After a good meal, they would go to bed and sleep their fill till next morning. It was most satisfactory. I'm gonna tell you, there's an art in here. Yeah, you are bad influence, Babs. There's an art in here of the mouse and the sausage. The sausage is so creepy looking. I'm sorry, he is freaking creepy looking. I am like looking at it and I'm like, picture of this. He is creepy looking. I'm like, what the fuck is this design? Like, this art of him is horrible. Yeah, I'll take a picture after stream. I'll take a picture. I'll remember to do that. Because I'll probably post that up and I'll post the context behind the nutting joke. Okay. But the bird came to the resolution next day never again to fetch wood. He said, been their slave long enough. Now they must change about and make a new arrangement. So in spite of all the mouse and the sausage could say, the bird was determined to have his own way. So they drew lots to settle it, and it fell so that the sausage was to fetch the wood, the mouse was to cook, and the bird was to draw water. So now, see what happened. The sausage went away after wood, and the bird made up the fire, and the mouse put up on the pot. And they waited until the sausage should come home, bringing the wood for the next day. But the sausage was absent so long that they thought something must have happened to him, and the bird went part of the way to see if he could see anything of him. Not far off he met with a dog on the road, who, looking upon the sausage as lawful prey, had picked him up and made an end of him. The bird had lodged a complaint against the dog as an open, flagrant robber, but it was no good, as the dog declared that he had found forged letters upon the sausage, so that he deserved to lose his life. The dog ate the sausage. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by something. So that he deserved to lose his life. The bird then sadly took up the wood and carried it home himself, and related to the mouse and all he had seen and heard. They were both very troubled, but determined to look on the bright side of things, still remained together. So the bird laid the cloth, and the mouse prepared the food, finally got the pot into the pot, as the sausage used to do, to stir and flavor the broth. But then she had to part with fur and skins, lastly with life. Wait, what? Wait, what did I just read? Hold on. Wait, what? Okay, they were both very troubled, but determined to look on the bright side of things. Still remained together. So the bird laid the cloth, and the mouse prepared the food. Finally got into the pot, as the sausage used to do, to stir and flavor the meat. But then she had to part with fur and skin, lastly with life. I'm sorry, what? In the next paragraph, as when the bird came to dish up the dinner, there was no cook to be seen. He turned over the heap of wood and looked, but the cook never appeared again. By accident, the wood caught fire, and the bird hastened to fetch water to put it out, but let fall the bucket in the well, himself after it. As he could not get out again, he was obliged to be drowned. What the fuck? What? I'm sorry. So, I get the sausage, I guess, flavored the broth with himself because he's a sausage. So, the mouse cooked herself into the soup and killed herself by cooking herself into the soup. And then the bird accidentally caught fire, something, and went to fetch water, fell into the well, and couldn't get out, so he drowned. What is up with these stories and ending with death? Like, goddamn, this story was like all cute, like, oh, it's a bird, a sausage, and a mouse living together and cooking and cleaning. No, they all die. What is up with these stories and death? Like, my god, like the hen and the rooster one, where literally everybody just wanted to help the rooster go bury his hen, and literally everyone died at the river. Like, why are so many people dying in these stories? Like, what the fuck? I think 2 more stories. Maybe 3. We'll see, because I want to reach my 2-hour mark. So 2 or 3 more stories. We'll see how much I yap. I'm sorry, I'm glancing over, and Bettle's sitting down, but he doesn't actually have a chair in the virtual world, so he's just floating because he's sitting on a chair IRL, but not in the 3D world, so he's just fucking floating. They're showing a video right now that is of Jerry, and I'm looking to see what the hell's going on because it's like a vacation video of Jerry. I'm wondering what's happening. That's a beautiful video, though. Okay, no more distracting. I need to do my job, do my stream. Stop getting distracted by Oshi. I will always be distracted by Oshi. I'm too much of a VTuber fan. Yeah, lock in. I need to do a work stream because my Oshis distract me too much and I need to lock in. I can't ever get any writing done because I can't ever lock in long enough without getting distracted by a stream. Alright. The next story is really short. So it's the crumbs on the table. A country man one day said to his little puppy, "Come into the parlor and enjoy yourself. Crumb mistress has gone out to pay some visits." Then the little dog said, No, we will not go. If the mistress gets to know it, she will beat us." The countryman said, "She will know nothing of you, Salem. Salem, hey, I love you. You can't come up here. There's no room for you. I'm sorry." He started walking on my tablet, and I'm like, "No, Salem, don't disturb it. It's recording, don't disturb it." Okay. "She will know nothing about it. Do come. After all, she never gives you..." I opened the window for you, sir. He's scratching at the blinds. Okay, "She will know nothing about it. Do come. After all, she never gives you anything good. Then the little dogs again said, "Nay, nay, we must let it alone. We must not go." But the countryman let them have no peace until at last they went and got on the table and ate up the breadcrumbs with all their might. But at that very moment the mistress came and seized the stick in great haste and beat them, treated them very badly. And when they were outside the house, the little dog said to the countryman, Do you see what happened?" And the countryman left and said, Didn't you expect?" So they had to run away. That's sad. He tricked them just to get them beaten. Let me fix the blinds so he stops scratching me. You, stop being a little bugger. Don't pull on the blinds. I see you. No, you can't come over here. He wants my attention, so he's scratching at the blinds because he knows it'll get my attention. No, you cannot. Oh, don't you. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Don't you swat at me. No. Hey. No. Every time I point at him, he slaps at my finger. No. Stop it. Don't you give me that look. You know what you're doing. Hey. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We're having a slap fight. Stop. Okay, now he's walking away. We were having a slap fight. We were both smacking each other's hands. He was like smacking my hand and I was smacking his back. We were having a fucking cat fight. He's such a cutie pie. I love him. He's being a little shit because I was pointing at him. He didn't want me to point at him. Okay, so the next story is The Cat and the Mouse in Partnership. A cat, having made acquaintance with a mouse, pretended such great love for her that the mouse agreed that they should live and keep house together. "We must make provisions for the winter," said the cat, "or we shall suffer hunger, and you, little mouse, must not stir out, or you will be caught in a trap." So they took counsel together and brought a little pot of fat, and then they could not tell where to put it for safety. But as a long consideration, the cat said there could not be a better place than the church, for nobody would steal there. They would put it under the altar and do not touch it until they were really in want. So this was done, the little pot placed in safety, but before long the cat was seized with a great wish to taste it. "Listen to me, little mouse," said he. "I have been asked by my cousin to stand godfather to a little son she has brought into this world. He is white with brown spots, and they want to have the christening today. So let me go to it, and you stay at home and keep house." "Oh yes, certainly," answered the mouse. "Pray go by all means, and when you are feasting on all the good things, think of me. I should so like the drop of the sweet red wine." But there was not a word of the truth in all this. The cat had no cousin and had not been asked to stand godfather. Welcome in, Rosaldia. I'm Keuki Arcticus, IRIAM's Ice Dragon Prince. I'm currently reading Grimm's Fairytales, and we are reading The Cat and the Mouse in Partnership right now. But there was not a word of truth in all of this. The cat had no had no cousin, and had not been asked to stand godfather. He went to the church, straight up to the little pot, and licked the fat off the top. Then he took a walk over the roofs of the town, and saw his acquaintances, stretched himself in the sun, licked his whiskers as often as he thought of the little pot of fat. Then, when it was evening, he went home. "Here you are at last," said the mouse. "I expect you to have a merry time." "Oh, pretty well. And did you give the child?" asked Mouse. "Top off," answered the cat dryly. "Top off," cried the mouse. "That is a singular and wonderful name. Is it common in your family?" "What does it matter?" said the cat. "It's not any worse than Crumb Picker, like your godchild." At a little time after the cat was again seized with a longing. Again, I must ask you, they said to the mouse, do me a favor and keep the house alone for today. I have been asked a second time to stand godfather, as the little one has a white ring around its neck, and I cannot well refuse. So the kind little mouse consented, and the cat crept along by the town wall until it reached the church, and going straight to the little pot of fat, devoured half of it. Nothing tastes so well as what one keeps to oneself, said he, feeling quite content with his day's work. Thank you for the star, Babs. Damn, Babs, you waited so long to send a star. I'm messing with you. I have to get, God, how many points do I have to get? The first achievement, I have to get 50,000. You always forget. You do always forget. How am I gonna reach? God, some people have already reached 150. Dev has already reached 150,000. So has Extinct. God, we just started, guys. I gotta somehow reach 150,000. If we reach 150,000 stars for the event, if I get that background, yeah, if I get that background, we'll go camping. I'll make sure of it. It won't be next week because next week I don't have the money right now. I gotta keep my money saved for the convention coming up. But next month we can go to a camping stream. Yeah, if you give me the background, we'll go to a camping stream. Maybe for like a day. We'll go camping for a night. Would you guys want to go camping in the beach? I feel like the beach is easier because I'm closer to beaches. I think a beach would be easier to camp at. I know forest would be more themed to the actual image, but I think the beach is easier because we have that out here. Because the beach is like, I don't know, an hour or two away, and I should be able to have one that I can stay the night. I just would have to pay though, because there's no free, all the free ones are up north, and I don't have a north one. But yeah, I could borrow my roommate's tent. I think I have a sleeping bag, and then I could go camping out there, and maybe we can do like, I don't know if they allow, like maybe we can barbecue something and roast some marshmallows, read some stories, and maybe do like a stream or two of different things. We'll figure out what to do if we end up going camping. It's only if I get that background. That's gonna be what it is. If I get that camping background, we'll go camping together. Yeah, beach camping I think would be very fun. I've never gone beach. Well, I went beach camping when I was a kid. I don't remember too much of it. But I remember going when I was a kid and we had a lot of fun. Because I remember my grandmother was with us. And I remember very clearly her yelling out shark when she saw a dolphin in the water. There were dolphins in the water and she saw the fin and she yelled out shark, and we're just like, that's a dolphin. And then I remember us setting off fireworks. That was back when they weren't so strict about fireworks. Thank you for the 2,000 star, Alice. Yeah, that was back when they weren't so strict about fireworks. Thank you, Rosaldia, for the follow. You are now a Snowy Dollar. That is actually a play on the lore thing. So it's snowy because of ice, and then storyteller has to do with lore. But you'll find that out a lot later. But it is definitely, it's actually counting the stars because the 2,000 star is the 2,000th point. So it's counting the stars directly. So it actually is like how many stars are sent to me. So that actually might be easier to achieve than I think. I think 150 stars in a week is not that hard. Yeah, my roommates go off-roading a lot because they have a Jeep, and they go camping and off-roading and stuff, and they take their dogs with them and stuff and go out. So they do a lot of that. They have a trailer that they bought specifically to travel and have never used it. It's just been sitting there. Like, they spent all this money on a trailer that they do not use. Yeah, so they just have a tent and they go camping and they go off-roading with their Jeep, and I want a Jeep so badly. Like, I have a Kia Soul right now, which I love that car. I absolutely adore it, but it's done. I just need to pay it off and get a new one because I still have, I just gotta hope it survives 2 years because I still have 2 years to pay off on it. I just gotta hope it survives because it's not doing well. It's not gonna pass smog next year unless we can figure out what's broken. It runs, but it smells horrible, and it constantly has a light on. Constantly has the engine light on. Thank you for the 3,000 star, Alice. God, you guys are spamming like crazy right now. I can see why the event has such a large requirement because it's pretty easy to get up there. Yeah, so the only reason they haven't gotten rid of the trailer is because the way we work is we have a house with 2 bedrooms and we have 2 trailers on the property, and everybody pays their portion of the rent. And I pay for a room, my 2 roommates pay for a room, and then because they share a room because they're together, and then my other 2 roommates have their own trailers on the property because we have a relatively good sized property. It's like a half acre, I think. It's the largest property in the neighborhood because we're in like a trailer park. And so the other 2 live on trailers. Well, one of them lives in the trailer that the roommates in here own. So the roommates in here own one trailer and basically rent it out to the other roommate. So that's their travel trailer. But since someone stays in it, usually that person would come and stay in the house while they went on trips, but they just stopped going on trips. So because they just don't have the money to do it, I guess. They technically don't. None of us have the money to go do anything. Only one of our roommates actually makes enough money to go do stuff, and she does stuff all the time. But everybody else is too broke to do anything. We're all too broke to go do anything. Thank you for the 4,000 star, Alice. God, you are spamming that like crazy. Alright, let me stop getting distracted and finish the goddamn stories. Yeah, nobody has the money. It's so expensive here. I mean, today I work in fuel right now, which is the gas station at work, and gas today was $3.92, almost $4 for the cash price. And I'm like, that's the cash price. It's insane, like how bad it is out here, and that's actually that's the cheapest in the area. Like my gas station I work at, like it's connected to the grocery store. It is literally the cheapest gas in the area, and it's almost $4. It's insane out here. Gas is never going down. It sucks. It used to be like $3.50 and less. Now we can't even get under $3.50. It's so hard. Gas is so much more expensive, cars are more expensive, food's more expensive, and they keep increasing the money we earn, but it doesn't help because as the money increases that we earn, the prices of food increases, which means that everything's just exactly the same. We're all still in the same spot. But luckily, I have this new, I'm in a new department of the store. I'm in the fuel department now, which has more hours, so I'm hoping that getting the more hours will give me enough money to be able to afford to like actually buy some extra stuff. So like, thank you for the 5,000 star, Azaldia. You guys are spamming it like crazy, my damn. But yeah, hopefully I'll make more money. I'm really happy because the all my bills will be paid by the end of by this week. This week all my bills will be paid. So that means that next week, all the money from that check will go towards the convention, which I'm so happy because every time I go to this convention, I'm so broke. I end up not even eating. I literally eat before I leave, and then I eat before I leave, and then I eat when I get home. That's how it's always been when I go to this convention because I never have money by the time the convention. And so now I'm gonna have a good sized check that I should be able to pay my bills and have money left, so I can pay for parking, so I can go to the convention. And I'm actually staying at at my aunt's place. I'm staying at her place, and I'm gonna try not to eat her food. I'm gonna buy my own food. I'm gonna do streams with you guys. I know I will do a Jollibee review because I know Ark wanted me to try Jollibee, and there's one out there. And I'll probably do a shopping stream. And I'll think of something else for the other 2 days probably because I'm going to be gone. I might stream the morning on Friday because there's a concert Friday night at the convention, and I'm driving out Friday. And then, God, thank you for the 5,000 stars, Aldia. You guys are going crazy. Get me there too quick. But yeah, no, so I know I might do something in the morning, depending on the money I have, I might do something. Maybe I'll go get breakfast or something with you guys in the morning, or maybe I'll wake up extra early and do a stream in the morning at home before I leave. But they will be short streams for the weekend, sadly, because I can't go too long because I don't want to, 1, interrupt the person I'm living with, and 2, I can't spend too much time because I do got to get enough sleep and everything for the convention, because when it comes to conventions, I am there opening to closing. I am there from when the doors open to when the doors close. There is no, they have to kick me out. And so I I gotta make sure I get enough sleep to get there. Luckily, because my aunt's place is like 15 minutes away compared to the hour I usually have to drive to the convention, it's gonna be a lot easier with sleep-wise, because I'll be able to get home sooner. I won't have to drive tired, because driving tired is not good for me. I get really bad when I get tired. So it's like, it's gonna be really good being able to have to drive only 15 minutes, which means I get home and I get more rest and less traffic, which will be really nice. I want to go get ramen there. I might, if I have enough money next week, I might go get my usual ramen, because I was sitting there asking people to recommend a plushie to me to bring, and I didn't really have anybody recommend one, so I'm gonna end up bringing. I got my Ruse merch for his new outfit, I think it was, and so I got my little Rusader plushie that squeaks, and I'm gonna make him. I actually already have most of the materials. I'm gonna make him a necktie like mine. Yeah, I'm gonna make him a necktie like mine. I'd do it for any plushie I brought, but I have the fabric already for the ribbon part. Gold and blue. I just need to make the crystal, which I'm gonna go down. If I go down next week to go get ramen, there's actually some craft stores over there. I'll check the craft stores. Yeah, send the link. I might like it enough to get it. And then, but there's craft stores, and I'm gonna go to the craft stores, see if they have what I need, so I can make it. And I'm gonna make the little crystal, and it's not gonna be exactly the same for the chest piece. It's gonna be a simple golden border on it, on the crystal. It'll probably actually end up being, the way I make it will probably be the design for your guys' little crystal, because I want you guys to have a crystal on your mascot design, which I did talk to the person I want to be your guys' mama. I gotta set the money aside because it is a little expensive. It's like $100, I think, but I did get the information on it, and I will be commissioning someone for your guys' design. It's just a matter of time for when I have the money, because I also I'm waiting for my artist for my ref sheet to get back to me on how much they want. It took a little bit of convincing to get them to do the art, because they're a friend of mine. They were like, I'm not sure, and I'm like, come on dude, you can do this, no time limit, anything, you could practice. And so, okay Alice, welcome in May. I'm yapping instead of reading because I keep getting distracted. Thank you for the 8,000 star, Alice. But so I lost thought. Oh, so yeah, I convinced them to do the reference sheet for me because I really like their art style. They're a friend of mine, and so once they give me the price, I'll set aside the money for that. I need to figure out. I think it's more important for me to have you guys designed before getting my ref sheet, because I have somewhat of a reference with my like the one I put together for temporary, but I want to make sure you guys have a design as soon as possible, because I want to make merch of you guys, and I gotta make sure you have a design so you guys can draw your own sonas and stuff and feel more personal. I think sonas are very important because they let you feel more personal in the fandom, and so I want to make customizable options and stuff like that. Let me see what you sent, Babs. I'm gonna keep getting distracted instead of reading. Let's see. I got another notification. Oh, just some people liking stuff. Let's see what you sent, Babs. Oh, that's cute. Hold on. That's really cute. That is very cute. I might get that. I'll see if I have the money for it. If I don't, then I'll still get it for next time. If I have the extra money for it, because it's actually on sale right now. If I have the extra money for it next week, I'll grab it. But if I don't, I will definitely grab it for next time, because that is really cute. That is adorable. I'm gonna definitely leave that set aside for later. Oh, they have an advertisement of the top of some dinosaurs I already have. They have a yellow one? Hold on. We're gonna look at this. There's a yellow one? Hold on. There is a yellow version! Oh my god, I don't have the yellow one! When did they come out with a yellow one? Is it the same one? I think it is. No, it's a different brand. It looks really similar. I think it's a different brand. Hi, Rayan. Hello, thank you for the star. I keep getting distracted instead of reading. That's my usual, so. No, Bab sent me a plushie to get, and I was looking and I saw an ad for a plushie I already have, but I don't think these are the... Let me check. I don't think these are the same one I have. They look similar. No, they're not the same one. They look very similar, but the teeth are different. Mine have white teeth, and these ones have yellow teeth. But otherwise, the design is like almost the same. Very similar design. They're really cute, but they're not like mine. Nope, can't have my crown rayon. It doesn't come off. You can try, but it doesn't come off. Now this thing stays on. I mean, you can steal me. I don't mind that. I don't mind being stolen away. Steal the crown by stealing the prince. Sweep me off my feet. Alright, let me stop getting distracted and actually read for once. I can't keep getting distracted, and the stream ends up way longer than I planned because I keep getting distracted. I mean, granted, I don't technically have a time limit. Is my thing charging? It is charging. Okay. I don't technically have a time limit because I'm staying up for the next 24 hours to watch a stream. So, because I'm watching all of Biddle's stream. So, I'm gonna be up till 5 p.m. tomorrow, so it's not like I have a time limit, but I do have things I want to get done. I want to get some writing done. I want to do some drawing I gotta do for my world building thing, so I can continue the role playing, keep you guys updated. And I think I've made the art different enough from the reference that I can show it to you guys, because I was really concerned that it was going to look too closely to the reference that it would look bad. But I think that I've made it so different from the reference, like the hairstyle is slightly different, like the hairstyle spikes are different and everything. It's still like a longer hairstyle, and the ears are still the same position, and the eyes are a similar style, but it's very different. The pupils are a different shape, the eyelashes are a different shape, but I think it's distinctly different enough that I can use it, because the color scheme's also like the complete opposite. It's like gray and blue, where the original reference was yellow and red. So I'm hoping it's enough to be able to use it, because I really want to show you guys the design for the companion character. But yeah, let me keep going. So the story that we were reading that I kept getting distracted from is called The Cat and the Mouse in Partnership. And for winter, they start out, welcome in Adore. We are currently reading Grimm's Fairytales, and I keep getting distracted and yapping about other things. But yeah, so the story we are reading is The Cat and the Mouse in Partnership. And the cat and the mouse live together, and they put together a pot of fat to store for the winter. And the cat decided he wanted the fat, and made an excuse that he had to go be godfather to his cousin's son so he could go lick the fat. And then he did a bunch of stuff, went home, and told the mouse he named the kid, whatever. And then again, a little later, he decided he wanted more fat, so he made an excuse again that he had to be godfather for another child, and left the mouse at home, went to eat the fat, and ate half of the fat. And then that's kind of where we left off, and this is after he ate half the fat. He said, yeah, because the first time he named the kid, when he was asked by the mouse what he named the child, the godchild, he said top off. And then when he came home the second time and the mouse asked what name had been given to the child, half gone, answered the cat. Half gone, cried the mouse. I've never heard such a name in my life. I bet it's not to be found in the calendar. Soon after, the cat's mouth began to water again for the fat. I think that was a good transition, actually. Soon after that, the cat's mouth began to water again for the fat. Good things always come in threes, said he to the mouse. Again, I have been asked to stand godfather. The little one is quite black, with white feet, not any white hairs on its body. Such a thing does not happen happen every day, so you will let me go, won't you? Top off, half gone, murmured the mouse. They are such curious names. I cannot but wonder at them. That's because you are always sitting at home, said the cat, in your little gray frock and hairy tail, never seeing the world and fancying all sorts of things. So the little mouse cleaned up the house and set it all in order. Meanwhile, the greedy cat went and made an end to the little pot of fat. Now all is finished. One's mind will be easy, said he. Then came home in the evening, quite sleek and comfortable. The mouse asked at once what he named the child. What he named the third child. I won't please you any better than the rest, answered the cat. It is called All Gone. All Gone, cried the mouse. What an unheard of name. I've never met anything like it. All gone. Whatever can it mean? Shaking her head, curled herself around and went to sleep. After that, the cat was not again asked to stand godfather. When winter had come, there was nothing more to be had out of the doors. The mouse began to think of their store. Come, cat, said she, we will fetch our pot of fat. How good it will taste, be sure. Of course it will, said the cat. Just as good as if you stuck your tongue out the window. So they set out. When they reached the place, they found that the pot, but it was standing empty. Oh, now I know what it all meant, cries the mouse. Now I see what sort of partner you have been. Instead of standing godfather, you devoured it all up. First top off, then half gone, then, will you hold your tongue, screamed the cat. Another word and I'll devour you too. The poor little mouse having all gone on her tongue. Out it came, the cat leaped upon her and made an end of her, and that is the way of the world. What is up with people dying in this? Yeah, you guys are like spamming like crazy. $16K points. Oh my god. Skylar, you do like it here. You guys are spamming so much. Oh my god. What are we at already? We're already at 12,000. We need 37,000 more. Yeah, for those who weren't here before, if you guys get me the background, I'll go do a camping trip with you guys. It'll be a beach camping because we don't really have anything camping nearby. That's like forest. That's up more in the mountains. But we'll go beach camping together, maybe for overnight. Yes, you will still get your karaoke. That's going to be next week. If you guys want to suggest anything for the set list for the karaoke, use ArcTunes and make sure to put in the tweet set list recommendation so that I don't confuse it with a music sharing rec. And then it has to be an English song because I cannot sing Japanese very well. There's only one Japanese song I might sing as Aishite. If I can pull it off, I will probably butcher it. But you will get English songs. I'm going to go through my playlist and find a lot of English songs I like probably tomorrow. A lot of the English songs I feel like I can sing, and then I will go ahead and put those in the karaoke. I am not guaranteeing it will sound good, but I'm going to try to have fun. I've never done karaoke before. I've always just sang along with whoever was singing, so I do not know how the karaoke is going to be, but I hope you guys enjoy it either way. Some of you have heard me sing before because I sing during the music sharing streams, which we have another music sharing tomorrow at 11. Yeah, true. Doesn't need to sound good. It's just for fun. Alright, we're going to read, because of the time, and because I can't stop talking, we're only going to read one more story, okay? It's called The Spider and the Flea, and it is how many pages? It's one page, so it's 2 pages. 2 pages, because the next story is a little longer. So we'll read The Spider and the Flea, and then we'll end for today. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow after that. So let me go ahead and read this one. A spider and a flea dwelt together in one house and brewed their beer in an eggshell. One day, when the spider was stirring it up, she fell in and scalded herself. Thereupon, the flea began to scream, and then the door asked, "Why are you screaming, flea?" "Because little spider has scalded herself in the beer tub," replied she. Thereupon, the door creaked as if it were in pain, and a broom, which stood in the corner, asked, "What are you creaking for, door? May I not creak?" It replied, "The little spider scalded herself, and the flea weeps." So the broom began to sweep industriously. Presenting a little cart came by, and asked the reason. "May I not sweep?" replied the broom. "The little spider scalded herself, and the flea weeps. Little door creaks with pain." Thereupon the little cart said, "So I will run," and began to run very fast, past a heap of ashes, which cried out, "Why do you run, little cart?" "Because," replied the cart, "the little spider scalded herself, and the flea weeps, the little door creaks with pain, and the broom sweeps." And then said the ashes, "I will burn furiously." Now, next the ashes, there grew a tree, which asked, "Little heap, why do you burn?" "Because," was the reply, "the little spider scalded herself, and the flea weeps. The little door creaks with pain, and the broom sweeps. The little cart runs so fast." Thereupon the tree cried, "I will shake that myself." Went on, shaking till its leaf fell off. A little girl, passing by with a water pitcher, saw it shaking, and asked, "Why do you shake yourself, little tree?" "Why may I not?" said the tree. "The little spider scalded herself, and the flea weeps. The little door creaks with pain, and the broom sweeps. The little cart runs so fast, and the ashes burn." Then the maiden said, "If so, I will break my pitcher." She threw it down and broke it. At the streamlet from which she drew the water, asked, "Why did you break your pitcher, my little girl?" "Why may I not?" she replied, "for the little spider scalded herself, the flea weeps, the door creaks with pain, the broom sweeps, the cart runs on so fast, the ashes burn, the little tree shakes down its leaves. It's now my turn." Welcome in, Hee Hee. You've been in before. It doesn't say you're new. Well, welcome in, Hee Hee. We are reading a story right now. Yeah, the flea weeps. Thank you for the 15,000 stars, Skylar. Alright, let's keep going. Then, said the streamlet, "Now I must begin to flow." And it flowed and flowed along in a great stream, which kept getting bigger and bigger until at last it swallowed up the little girl, the little tree, the ashes, the cart, the broom, the door, the flea, and last of all, the spider, all together. What is up with these stories and people dying? Just genuinely, why does everyone die in these stories? It's kind of dark. It's like these stories are all so cute and everything, and then just everybody dies. I'm going to talk about this just because I have it bookmarked and I want to go back to the joke because it's so fucking funny. I don't know if any of you saw my tweet. A couple of you did. That said, "It's nutting time." I'm not joking. That is from this book. That is why I tweeted it. Because the sentence starts, "The cock said to the hen, 'It's nutting time.' It is nutting time." I'm so childish. They were talking about nuts. Yeah, the cock is a recurring character throughout a large portion of this. So is the wolf. The wolf pops up for a couple of stories in a row, but the cock popped up for multiple stories, and I kept sitting there making jokes about the fact, because I'm so childish about the word, and the fact that they just kept overusing the word. Like they didn't do like, oh, he or she a lot. They just kept saying cock over and over and over again, and I'm like, are we going to stop? like I know this is a word, like it's a word for a bird, but like, are we gonna stop saying it? Like, why aren't we referring to like, oh, this character? It was just literally constantly saying it. I was just like, what the fuck? It was so funny. Okay, well, I will go ahead and end there. The next story will be The Wolf and the Seven Little Kids, which we will do next week, because we do a story time every week, and we are about 130 pages in out of 720, so we still have a long way to go, but we're a good amount in. This is finally a time for me to sit down and actually read the story, because I've had this book for so long, and I've never read it. It's always just sat on the shelf looking pretty. So I will go ahead and end here, guys. Thank you all for coming in and for hanging out and for getting me all the way to 16,000 already. You guys are getting me there way too fast. Yeah, you can link someone else to me. Yeah, if you want to share me with anyone that you think might like to watch, feel free to. I do world building streams. I'm actually going to be, last week chat helped me build a world for a role play. This week I won't be doing a world building, it'll be more of a world info dumping. I have a role play that is Alchemist and Cyberpunk crossover, and I'm going to be telling you guys about it, telling you about the story so far and the plans. Yeah, I write fanfics too. I write fanfics, and I do, I write fanfics, I read fanfics, I write stories, role plays. I like world building a lot, so I actually want to do a thing where I get chat to like suggest ideas and concepts, and we can work together to build a world off of it. I think it would be really fun to do that. I'd have a lot of worlds in my notes, but it would be fun. I think it'd be fun. I very much had fun building the strange world with chat. I'm sad that I lost the recording, but I had a blast doing it. But I'm very much excited to do. Tomorrow we're doing a music sharing, which if you have not been to a music sharing stream before, we do this once a week. It is a stream where if you use hashtag ArcTunes, you can recommend me songs and I will check them out. Yeah, that's usually what we do is recommend on ArcTunes. And I also am slowly working through my playlists, my Japanese song playlist, which is mostly VTuber songs first, and then I will work through more of my English songs. And then I'll work through more of my English songs to show you guys. I'm basically like curating my playlist to be a good playlist to listen to, because I have a lot of songs I don't even like on there anymore. So I need to remove them. So I'm kind of like, as I'm playing it for you guys, I'm editing my own playlist to make sure it's right, and making a playlist for you guys of all the songs that were recommended and that I showed to you, so you have them as well. And then you also, if you come to show up for music sharing, you also get a nice sample of me singing, because when we do an English song up, I will sing along to it if I know the song. Because I can't help it. I love singing so much. I may not be the best at it, but I love doing it. Well, I will let you guys go because I keep yapping on, and I gotta do some art and writing. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST. I'll try not to be late because I know I was late today. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Night.